We're back on NFL Live. Okay, so last week, remember this, the Jags beating San Francisco, and there was a little confrontation after this game between Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator for the 49ers, and the head coach, Liam Cohen of the Jags. Here's more from Liam Cohen.
Oh, it was not a big deal. Just keep that between us.
One more on that one.
No, I'm going to keep that between us.
So you didn't?
No, just going to keep that between us right now. That's it.
Whatever happened on Sunday doesn't change how I feel. I in my heart genuinely was trying to give a compliment, and I own the fact that I probably it was a wrong choice of words.
All right, before we dive into exactly what may or may not have happened here, Dan, what specifically is sign stealing in the NFL?
Legal.
Yes. So I want to be conscious of the words that I'm using. So one of the ways that I have been a part of stuff like this in the past and specifically if you're playing as the road team, the opposing team's at home, they're on defense, loud crowd, right? And so we would at times go no huddle. One of the reasons we would do that was we would get up to the line of scrimmage, crowd's going crazy, going no huddle. We would get lined up into a formation, and then we would try to see if we can get signals from the nonverbal element by the defense or a defensive signal caller of we're in 2x2, and I see the secondary going like this to their quads. That means, it's probably going to be cover 4. And so then do we have enough time on the play clock to then get us into a cover 4 beater when it comes to a really good pass concept that could be the perfect play to attack that coverage. And so I think that's a lot of the stuff, at least that I've been a part of. It's not this unbelievable cheating stuff where you're studying tape on film. It's more of no huddle. What do we see that we know is their go-to? Okay, can we take advantage of it?
I think a lot of people were surprised that Liam Cohen was so upset with Robert Saleh, so much so that I started texting NFL sources and saying, did he overdo it there? Because you didn't see it in the clip. He goes after Saleh and says, keep my name out of your mouth. And Saleh very, very apologetically was like, I was meaning to compliment you. I wasn't trying to insult you. I didn't realize just how much of a trigger the term sign stealing is amongst the coaching community. Sure. For Liam Cohen, there's another part to this. You're the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars that are considered the 32nd market in the NFL. The Jacksonville Jaguars that have been the joke and the laughing stock of the NFL nearly the last decade. The Jacksonville Jaguars that have been through all these head coaches and all these players, and it seems like just a stop along the way. At 3-1, coming off their probably the most significant win in years, Liam Cohen wanted to show his young team, we don't take that from anybody. I don't care how big Robert Saleh is. I think it was two-pronged. I do think he was insulted. His dad's a coach. He's a coach. That's a word you never want to hear.
That's an ethical thing.
Ethical thing. And the second part, there was a little WWE to this. Hey, I'm going to show my guys, my players, we don't take that from anybody, even the big bad 49ers and Robert Saleh.
Yeah. It's interesting. In talking to the Jags this week, Liam Cohen said, look, I have a lot of respect for the 49ers and for teams like this that are in the upper echelon of the NFL. He's like, that's who we're trying to be. And he didn't want that to get misconstrued, right? He didn't want all of this to maybe be communicated the wrong way. But the one thing that he did say as he was going through all that, he finishes it up by being like, and we're not the same old Jags anymore. And I was like, that's it, right? Like, he wants to show.
It's got to be an all-the-time thing.
They're all buying into the tone that he's setting. It's been incredible to see. This is a great opportunity for them tonight in prime time against a team like the Chiefs, who everybody knows. No matter who's on their roster, they can be really tough.
He's 39 years old. His offensive coordinator, Grant Udinski, is 29 years old. The defensive coordinator is 40. The GM, James Gladstone, is 34. They're a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
And they're 3-1, and they're excited. And you know what? You're not going to talk down.
And the nation is looking forward to you hosting Monday Night Football tonight because of your success.
Good point, and a credit to Liam Cohen for all of that. All right, let's get back to more of the action from Week 5 on Sunday. The Texans and the Ravens getting ready to go. That's where we're going to pick it up. Of course, Lamar Jackson is out with a hamstring injury, so pick it up in the second quarter. The Texans lead 10-3, and Dan, C.J. Stroud finds Nico Collins.
Well, this is something that we saw a lot of yesterday, was the connection between quarterback Stroud and then Nico Collins. I really liked what Houston's offense looked like yesterday. Granted, Baltimore's defense is a struggling unit.
Yeah, Cooper Rush there, picked off by Jalen Petrie. Jackson watching from the sideline.
Let me say this. The best unit in the NFL that we don't talk about enough, Houston's defense.
Good point. Early fourth quarter, Texans lead 34-10. Stroud connects with Jalen Noel for the Texans touchdown.
He needs the ball more. Houston, that young man needs the football more.
What do you think of the Ray Lewis in their building?
It's gutsy. I want that.
Ravens lose this one. The Texans win 44-10, and Ravens head coach John Harbaugh not happy post-game.
I don't think we played well. I thought we would play better. I thought we would tackle better. I thought we would just play our run defense better than we did. It was not up to standard. I mean, we had good enough players out there to play a lot better than we did. Just a complete disappointment, and we're going to have to find a way to turn it around, figure out who we are this next week, and then into the bye and after the bye. We're going to have more than half the season left, and we're going to have to find ourselves.
Mina and RC, what does this Ravens defense need to do?
Well, I think the first thing is this Ravens defense needs to get some people healthy.
Yeah.
Meaning, when you look at this roster or this list of inactives, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I don't know some of these players who are out there on the field right now. No, I mean it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. But for me, this is the first time I looked at a Baltimore Ravens team and thought they gave up. I will never say that a team quit, right? Because you can't speak to their character. But this team was not playing to win. The one thing you expect from a John Harbaugh team is on defense, you're going to run, you're going to hit, and you're going to be physical. We didn't see any of that yesterday. Not only did C.J. Stroud have all day in the pocket to deliver the ball, to distribute the football, we also watched Woody Marks and we saw Nick Chubb continue to churn out yards in the run. And there was no one on that defense that would step up and be an enforcer. No one on that defense that would step up and say enough is enough. I understand without Lamar Jackson, the offense is going to struggle. But as a complete team, I didn't feel like this team was prepared to play, executed in that way, or efforted in the way that you need to.
Yeah, I think what's challenging is it's one of those questions where how much do you put this on the players who are absent? And I mean, if you look at the list of players, it's not just starters, it's the most expensive players on the entire football team. And then how much do you put on coaching? Because even before some of these players got hurt, defense, just speaking of the defense, you saw busted coverages all over the place. They weren't getting pressure. And while some of these players are returning, their best pass rusher, Madubuike, is not coming back. I do wonder if they might consider a midseason coaching change. And again, you can't blame Zach Orr for everything.
Right.
However, to your point, the effort, some of the defensive miscommunications, the lapses in communication and issues covering, that's been going on all year.
And the other big piece is we've seen this team in the last couple of years struggle early,
Yeah,
then
to figure it out,
things
yeah.
out defensively. But when your best players aren't playing well, and in this case, when your best players aren't available, it's difficult to make things change and make that adjustment. But if you're Zach Orr, you have to figure it out, because I believe the same thing as you, Mina. A change could be coming at the defense coordinator position.
Great stuff from you guys. More coming throughout the next couple hours. Actually, we've only got 1 hour left. I wanted to give us another hour. That'd be fun. All right, coming up. Well, we need another hour, Dan. The Eagles fell apart, lost their first game of the season. Hear what RC thinks has to change immediately if Philly wants to make another deep.
Everybody got to say it now.
Okay, go down the line. Mark is here. All right, okay. Nice, Mark. Okay, that's made it. You're 2 hours on the budget. So, all three until 5 p.m. What happened? Yes.
It's shocking how healthy he looks. He looks like J.K. Dobbins 3, 4, 5 years ago, how good he looks. And then Bo Nix, his fourth quarter was outstanding. How fast he played. Evan Ingram finding a way to get into the end zone.
Not being the side, so Broncos. Virgin Dick trying to break Franklin again, though. It's good. The Broncos still have 18-17. That's just to see the first loss.
I'm not just flag. No. I mean, that ball runs through the football. It's not a malicious hit. He gets there almost simultaneously. Bad call.
Right, 9 seconds to go in the game. Same score. The Eagles trying to make it happen right here. Into the Broncos 29. But Nita throws downfield, cannot connect. Dallas Goddard. Nick Sirianni's looking for a flag. You see it there. And Goddard grabs as he tries to make the catch, but no flag was thrown. So the next play, the Eagles with one final chance, 4 seconds to go. Hurts throws toward the end zone into a sea of defenders. The ball hits the ground, incomplete.
The Broncos come back to win it, and here's Saquon Barkley after the first loss of the year for the Eagles.
I really don't know what people want. I touch the ball too much sometimes, and we're not throwing enough. We throw it too much, only have 9 touches. Like, I'm not in the business of, what are we doing enough? I'm in the business of winning football games, and we didn't win a football game. With 9 touches, we had the opportunity to win a football game still, and we didn't. So, more detail about too many mistakes, too many penalties.
The Eagles might still be 4-1, but they've been outgained in terms of total yards in all 5 games this season. They're just the second defending Super Bowl champion to start a season that way, joining the 1987 Giants, who started 0-5 and missed the postseason. Didn't help. The quarterback Phil Simms missed 3 of those games, of course, you remember correctly. Dan, why was that Eagles offense so stagnant yesterday?
Stagnant, that's a word to describe it. It's the most predictable offense in the NFL right now, one of them. I mean, if the Eagles are in the shotgun on 1st and 2nd down, they're throwing the ball. They don't ever play under center anymore, and if they do, it's a guaranteed run, it feels like. And then what happens is early downs are killing this offense. They're not good on early downs right now, which is something they dominated in last year. So on early downs, they're behind the chains, and then they get into obvious 2nd and or 3rd downs, passing situations, and they're not built to handle all those different disguises and pressures. And they're still predictable with their routes. I mean, these are the 3rd downs in the second half yesterday. A.J. Brown runs a slant in. They get to 3rd and 15, and then Benito runs a stunt. They get to 3rd and 13, and here's an all-out bluff pressure that is simulated with 7 guys in coverage. That's not how this offense is built to play. It's still wildly too predictable, and if they get into obvious passing situations and you play zone behind it, advantage defense.
Yeah, I hear a number of conversations going on about how the offensive line is not the same, but there are circumstances where they're not giving them a chance. And these condensed formations and these splits that they're creating where people are now starting to crowd the line of scrimmage for Saquon Barkley. This is one example of it right here. We're in the shotgun, and we get to the point where you can count the box. Look at this condensed formation. Everything is inside almost the hashes by the time you get this motion activity. Look how many defenders are around Denver. They trigger this. The safety goes up into the line of scrimmage. They try to bring a backside wide receiver on like a trap action, and Saquon now is already in the line of scrimmage. You see them insert again. It is just so crowded around there. You look at the pass that he was able to hit for a touchdown. They went out, found him space, found him a one-on-one to get going. To me, this is about the offensive coordinator. And listen, y'all, we've had this conversation about Philly before, and they were able to get it fixed and manage how they play football going forward. I 100% agree with you, Dan, but if I'm looking at a 9-man box in shotgun with Jalen Hurts and just Saquon Barkley back there on an early down, what are we doing running just a regular?
It's also not a play-action offense either.
And the condensed formations, to go off of that, the tight ends aren't good enough at blocking for them to pull that off the way some other teams that have more condensed looks are. I feel like the story of the game for me was just that Denver, and it's crazy to say this about an Eagles team, was better in the trenches on both sides of the ball.
Oh, sure.
It was predictable going into it for sure, but it was so obvious. And you've been talking about the offense. I'm going to focus on the Eagles defense, not the Denver defense. That 4-man rush just isn't getting it done right now. They lost players in free agency from the Super Bowl team, but it was predicated, or like the hope for them being still good again was predicated on the idea of Jalen Carter taking over football games. He's not taking over football games right now. I think he's hurt. He's playing hurt, and he's getting doubled a lot. But even when he is getting doubled, no one's taking advantage of the one-on-one. So at the moment, this pass rush to me is just not sufficient to play the style of football they want to play structurally. Fangio dialed up some good blitzes in this game. That felt like the only way they could get pressure.
Yeah, let's give some love, though, to this Broncos defense. How, RC, were they able to just contain Philly so well?
I mean, Dan started off, right? They don't handle pressure well, and it was simulated pressure. It was 5-man fire zones. They also brought Talanoa Hufanga up to the line of scrimmage, and you were able to bluff, but also drop defenders opposite him to put pressure on the quarterback. There's a huge sack by McMillan late in this game. Also, Hufanga was able to put pressure on Jalen Jalen Hurts and get the football out of his hand. I thought that Vance Joseph knew that they would play well on early downs, and then it was about making Jalen Hurts make decisions on third down. And you know this, if you're in off coverage with the pressure, you're going to get a hitch, you're going to get a stop, you're going to get a slant.
Yes.
If you give them an opportunity to throw the fade because you're impressed, that's exactly what you're going to get. So you will basically eliminate more than half of the route tree just by presenting pressure to the Philadelphia Eagles. So not only are they stagnant with the initial play call, they also don't adjust with any creativity.
And Boogie, that's what's concerning, because when we talked about Philly being dominant, it was always them dictating what you did
Setting the
defensively.
tone, yeah.
Like setting the tone. Beyond the physicality, formation-wise, using RPO with Jalen, using zone read with Jalen. They have, like, defenses are just lining up at the line of scrimmage and going forward
Well, I
against
think
the Philadelphia
part of
Eagles
it,
right
too, both guards are essentially gone from last year
true.
with Dickerson's
Becton.
injury. So then it's all connected. Bad early downs. You're not an overly exotic protection team on second down. And teams know if they follow the Tampa model of fire zone pressure you, you're not going to have success against that defense.
I'm glad you brought up the Dickerson injury, because we are going to bring in Adam Schefter right now with the latest on some top stories going on right now. We begin, Adam, with Landon Dickerson. What can you tell us about the Eagles' offensive lineman?
Laura, he's been hurt all year long, played through injury, limped off the field yesterday against the Denver Broncos. The Eagles had to play without him yesterday. And let's keep in mind, the Eagles now have a short week with a game Thursday night against the Giants as he deals with this injured ankle. Hard to imagine that somebody like that is going to be able to play Thursday night, but he's been so tough and such a warrior, anything is always possible. Meanwhile, Amarian Hampton was in a walking boot after the game yesterday, got kicked in the foot, ankle, leg area. Obviously did not look good. He left the game, did not come back. Looked like he could move around a little bit, but the fact that he was not back was not encouraging. And the injury news for the New England Patriots a short time ago was bad. Their running back Antonio Gibson did suffer a season-ending torn ACL last night against the Buffalo Bills. Test today confirmed that it was torn. You saw Gibson leave the field last night, very emotional. And another big injury today, the Colts kicker Spencer Schrader suffered a season-ending knee injury against the Raiders, torn ligaments in the knee. He had been one of the best kickers in the NFL this season, and that's going to be a major loss for the Colts, trying to have to replace a kicker that had been that good and that reliable.
You just hate to see these injuries this season. There seems like there's been more than I remember in recent years, but maybe I say that every year. Thanks to Adam. You're with us throughout the 2 hours. We'll check back in with you for more updates. Credit, you said this would be a bad matchup for the Bills.
Yeah, that was a great coverage, though. They kind of played triangle 3-over-2. Josh is late in the red zone, outstanding. And then Steph, story of the night. He was on a mission type of player, ball in his hands.
2 plays later, that set the Pats up inside the 10. Ramondre Stevenson into the end zone, untouched. New England
defense struggles with
20
this
to
direction.
10. Okay, ensuing possession, under 8 minutes to play. First and goal for Buffalo. Allen finds Keon Coleman for the touchdown, so the Bills do cut the lead to 3. Now, after a Patriots punt, under 3 minutes to play, Bills 3rd and 10 at the 28. Allen looking to make something happen. It's incomplete. Buffalo would end up kicking a field goal, and that would tie it at 20, as you see Allen and the creativity there. Next, Pats possession, just over 2 minutes to go. 1st and 10 at their own 29. May's in trouble, but how does he do this, Dan?
He's 6'5", 240 pounds, strong as an ox, and an ultra-competitive kid. I mean, that goes from 2nd and 18, 2nd and 19 to first down and 1 play away from being in field goal range. One of his special plays.
Later in the drive, 20 seconds left. Andy Borregales for the 52-yard attempt. The kick is good. That would seal the game. Here's the Pats locker room after a big win.
And we took the next step, okay? But I'm not surprised. I want you to understand it. I'm not surprised at all. Okay? Game ball. Diggs, here you go. We talked all week, buddy. We were either going to block one. I didn't know we were going to make one, but we made it.
Oh, you love to see it for Vrabel and co. What?
What was Tennessee thinking?
Oh, good point. Well,
People
they
get
let him
bored.
go.
I mean,
in case.
Vrabel, why would you not want Stephon Diggs in your locker room?
That's a good point, too.
He's a
what were the Bills
competitor, man.
thinking? What was Tennessee thinking?
That's all I was thinking about last night.
A lot of people are probably thinking that.
Yep.
Maybe
All right.
Tennessee was thinking that. I don't know. RC, how are the Patriots able to get it done offensively?
Well, I think the first thing is when you have a competitor that feeds off of pettiness, you need to feed it.
You would not
you
know
would know.
anything.
I know nothing about that.
Just
when
gonna
you,
say
when you have somebody
Ah.
that holds a grudge and that plays with emotion and that understands that I want to go out and show this team and show these people that you do need me, that I can help a team win. The first snap of the game is a pass to Stephon Diggs, and you can tell when he got the football in his hands, it wasn't about falling down. It was about making plays. It was about exacting revenge on the team that he feels gave up on him. And the entire night, you watched him and Drake May continue to develop cohesion, but we're seeing that relationship grow. Last week, he said, I'm about a 5 out of 10 on the playbook. And I've heard that Josh McDaniels' system is extremely wordy. It's hard and difficult to understand. But you are seeing Drake May and Stephon Diggs begin to understand one another. And to me, that goes beyond the playbook. And we saw that last night.
Those broken plays connection between quarterback and receiver had to feel very similar to the fans of Buffalo. Because the stuff that Josh Allen and Steph used to do was so much like what Drake May and Steph did last night. And I'm shocked that they're on the same page this much. So Drake throwing on the run. Watch as he breaks the pocket. He's going to point downfield and see the reaction at the bottom of the screen by Steph. He points. Steph sees it within a fraction of a second. Spins away. Huge completion. That's being on the same page in that broken play element. 3rd and 7. Steph's at the bottom of the screen. A little pressure from Drake May. We've seen this before in this stadium with a quarterback that looks like this. Get outside the pocket. Steph's back is to the quarterback right now. He cuts it loose, throws it low way. This is a throwaway, essentially. Steph makes the play. That's a massive 3rd and 7 conversion backed up. And then the big boy play. This is grown men stuff. But just the awareness by Drake May and also like the trust. This is a bad decision unless you're a freak. And the awareness of my guy's out there. He'll make it right no matter. And that last week we talked about Drake and Steph seeing the defense the same way, man zone. We hadn't seen this type of connection from last night until that game.
Well,
It's like those broken plays.
Yeah.
Well, the entire night, I was thinking of that Spider-Man meme. Because, I'm not saying that Drake May is Josh Allen yet.
Stylistic.
He did Josh Allen things.
Yeah, but he is Josh Allen-esque, and we saw some of that last night.
Yeah, well, New England's defense made Josh Allen not look so Josh Allen-esque, right? Mina, what did they do so well to limit the reigning MVP?
It all starts with defending the run. This Bills offense has a dominant rushing attack, and the Patriots held them to their worst rushing performance of the season. It wasn't even that bad, but it was their worst of the season. They came into this game, by the way, and on the season now, they're 4th in yards per carry allowed. Going back and watching how they approach the run, I thought the nose tackle, Tonga, was unbelievable in this game. Robert Spillane, those are both free agent acquisitions, by the way, was incredible.
Yep.
However, the other thing I want to highlight, and this is coming off the run defense, a lot of times they would show 2 and they were able to add a safety to the box because they had so much faith in their cover corners. And that was really a big difference in this game. You highlighted some of those extended plays with Drake May, Steph Diggs finding a way to get open downfield.
Yeah.
How many times did it feel like Josh Allen was padding, buying time?
Gonzo.
Nobody was open. Christian Gonzalez was unbelievable in this game. He is unbelievable, and that's what the Patriots have. They have a dominant corner duo and a very good defensive line.
I agree, Mina. Look, RC, I was thinking about you last night. They plastered so well on extended plays, too. But the 3 turnovers. Look, Buffalo is fine. All right? Like, I thought New England played a phenomenal game. It was physical. New England is going to be a challenge for Buffalo when they play again. But the 3 turnovers in the red zone is the story of the night, right? Very uncharacteristic of them this year. But also when you think about how this team operates, especially when they get into these particular situations, these are always, most of the time, at least field goals. We're talking about an opportunity for Buffalo on some critical downs to either extend drives or you get this interception from Josh Allen in the red zone. So, again, you walk away from this game if you're Buffalo saying we missed multiple opportunities in order to win this game or have an opportunity to win this game, and you just go back to the drawing board. But I don't think Buffalo needs to go and reinvent themselves at all. New England played well. Give them credit.
Real quick on the run defense. This is one of the most explosive run games in football. Buffalo, New England didn't give up any to the running backs. That was the most impressive thing.
Tackling was huge.
So much credit.
Tackling.
Leverage, all that.
Hey, it's National Coaches Day, and as part of ESPN's Take Back Sports initiative to help kids get back into playing sports, ESPN and the Positive Coaching Alliance teamed up with the Houston Texans last month to host coaches in a workshop at NRG Stadium. 60 coaches from Fort Bend Youth Football Program participated in workshops to help them create a positive sports culture and help their athletes succeed on and off the field. All right, some more Coach Love. It's time to shine a light on the high school coach of the week, Kyle Doherty from Yulee High School in Florida. That's, by the way, where Derrick Henry went to high school. His team is currently undefeated and chasing his third playoff trip in his 5 seasons coaching the Hornets at Yulee. All right, we're just hours away from Monday Night Football, where Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they'll be taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence, 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, Peyton and Eli. Once again on ESPN2, they have a special guest, Glenn Powell. And, of course, Lisa Salters is on the call. Lisa will be with the Chiefs. Now, Lisa, the Chiefs were once masters of the one-score games, 11-0 in those games. This season, though, KC losing 2 one-score games to start the season. What's changed, though, the last 2 weeks to get them back on track at 2-2?
Well, Laura, everyone thought the sky was falling when the Chiefs started the season 0-2 for the first time with Patrick Mahomes as their starting quarterback. Everyone, that is, except the Chiefs themselves. Mahomes said he remembers telling his wife, Brittany, hey, we lost games we think we should have won, so why change anything? All we can do is just continue to work, and the results will handle themselves. And the last 2 weeks have been much more of what Kansas City is used to, including last week's beatdown of the Ravens. Getting healthy, of course, helps get a team back on track, right? Xavier Worthy dislocated his right shoulder in week 1, and in his return last week, he put up regular season career highs in both receiving and rushing yards. And Hollywood Brown leads the team in receptions and yards and says he hasn't even been close to 100% until now. Brown has been dealing with an Achilles issue since preseason and said last week against Baltimore was really the first game where he was able to move around like he wanted to. But Laura, good health, as we all know, is fragile in the NFL, and Xavier Worthy had some ankle swelling yesterday during travel and was downgraded to questionable for tonight. So we'll have to keep an eye on his status as we get closer to kickoff, and we'll also keep an eye on the Doppler with a chance for thunderstorms during the game. And thunderstorms, not popular with players, not popular with sideline reporters like us.
I mean,
and this win, what is
Lisa,
up with that?
I don't know if we can get it yet. So this is what we're dealing with. What wind?
I mean, it's look at Laura, look at me. Like, this is ridiculous.
I'm in
we
a
need
great
to start
spot
playing
over
these
here.
games exclusively in domes.
I like that. Lisa, we will see you in about 4 hours and 35 minutes. But, of course, stay tuned. Lisa will be all over the Xavier Worthy injury updates and his status for this game. Peter Schrager's here. Yeah, I'm jealous. All
and
y'all.
Jimmy Johnson hair is just
Your
fine.
hair's looking
all
great.
that product. You and Trey's got that product.
Peter's got some
pomade.
I got to chop it off.
All right, you guys, enough about our hair in the wind. Nobody cares. Let's talk about a wild finish that happened in Arizona. This game
Oh, my
was
gosh, man.
crazy. We're going to see it right now. All right, Cam Ward, though, he's been incredible.
Cam Ward
We'll
is
hear more
so
on
good
that.
at football.
Pick it up in the fourth quarter. Cardinals leading 21-6. Amari DiMercato looks like he's about to score, and if you haven't seen it yet, he doesn't score because he lets the ball go when he's crossing over the goal line. He is so upset after this, as you might imagine, and just unfortunate to see this happen.
Well, I mean, coming off of the A.D. Mitchell play from 2 weeks ago, I'm just shocked that anybody still does this, let alone did it again.
Well, here's Cam Ward looking to pass. Pass is tipped, intercepted by the Cardinals. This is late in the fourth quarter. The Cardinals fumble it into the end zone. Ball on it for the touchdown. Looks like it's going to be a Cardinals big moment, and then once again, the Titans are able to come up big.
This is like what my grandmother used to say, what God has for you is for you.
Okay.
No, man
No
can
weapon
take it
formed
away.
against you shall prosper.
All right, I like that. Next Titans drive after
This
Cardinals punt. Or throwing it downfield. I mean, that is gorgeous.
He's got
to
6
Calvin
or
Ridley.
7 of them in the game.
3 seconds left. Joey Slye nails it, and the Titans win. Here's Cam Ward after the game.
I feel good. A win, especially for my first one in a game like, it's a big time. But I think the biggest thing is just we got to continue to build off of it. We got to continue to attack the week the right way and try to get a win next week. I hope it can be, a springboard for a lot of wins. Just got to continue. We got one step better today, and just really just keep the right mindset each and every week. Try to win next week.
Marcus, what did you make of the Cam Ward comeback?
Cam was phenomenal, but the Cardinals, you can't talk about this game without talking about how this self-inflicted wounds created this opportunity for Tennessee. Takes nothing away from Cam. He had to make plays in this game in order to move his team down the field. But we saw it, and this is the one that has driven the conversation for Monday after the Sunday game. So I think Arizona right now is probably reeling more than Tennessee is going back to the drawing board and saying, how can we get better? Because we can't let this happen being down 21-3.
Good point. All right, the Colts picked up their biggest win since 2013, 34-point win over the Raiders. They were led by Jonathan Taylor's 3 rushing touchdowns, his 4th career 3-touchdown game. That's 7 touchdowns for Taylor this season, the most for a Colt through 5 games since Marvin Harrison in 1999. The Colts offense has been efficient all season, scoring on 65% of their offensive possessions this year. Wow. That's the highest rate by any team through 5 games over the last 45 seasons. 45 seasons, passing the greatest show on turf, Rams, from 2000. Peter, was Sunday a matter of the Colts dominating or the Raiders making it a little easy for them?
Well, Tom Brady and Mark Davis aren't the only owners of the Raiders. Jonathan Taylor is too. He just absolutely dominates against them anytime he plays them. But Daniel Jones played great. Tyler Warren is my pick for first-team All-Pro at tight end, and he's a rookie. But gosh, what happened to the Raiders? They won Week 1. They beat a good Patriots team that we see now. They have lost 4 straight games. Geno Smith, who was supposed to be a great game manager and take care of the ball, has more interceptions than any other quarterback in the NFL. The Raiders seem to be going downward while the Colts are ascending.
Let's go to London, where Dylan Gabriel made his debut for the Browns against their defense is so good. If they could get anything going offensively, they could be in a much better position.
Yeah.
We got more coming your way here on NFL Live as we are with you till 5 p.m. leading up to Monday Night Football later on tonight. Still to come, Baker Mayfield, the Bucs, won another thriller yesterday, and some Dak's been in 5 games this season. He's thrown 5 touchdowns, just 1 interception when targeting George Pickens, averaging 9 yards per attempt. That's an improvement over Dak's numbers throwing to CeeDee Lamb last season when he threw more picks than touchdowns. So something to keep an eye on there. Of course, we'll see in the final minute of the 4th quarter. That's crazy. They're the first team since the 1970 NFL-AFL merger to start a season in such fashion. All 4 Bucs wins this season have been by 3 or fewer points. Yeah, you really can't count them out. But, hey, by the way, guys, I moved to the other side of the desk. We thought the wind would be better, and it's kind of just as bad.
It went bad.
Marcus sold me a bill of goods. He's like, Boogie, move over here. It'll be better, but you don't have hair.
Blame it on the BMB,
The wind just finds the sunshine, Laura. That's all that is.
Love that.
That's all it is.
Okay, well, RC, tell me, why is this Buccaneers team so good late in the game?
Well, speaking of sunshine, Sunshine Anderson had a song, and she said, I heard it all before.
Ooh.
That's exactly what we're
Sick
seeing.
of your lies.
That's exactly what we're seeing from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think, though, we make it too only heighten their sense of urgency to execute and their attention to detail.
Yeah, it's a well-coached team. I thought this was a masterclass in attacking space on offense through scheme. Mayfield was 10 for 11 off of play action for 159 yards, which helped mitigate Seattle's strength, the pass rush. The entire secondary was injured in this one. Yeah. Through accuracy, Baker was nails attacking the voids in Seattle's zone coverage. And then through great situational awareness on the part of the receivers, this was one of the best games you'll see from a receiver all year long from Emeka Egbuka.
Crazy.
But of the many things he did well, the thing that jumped out to me was just his ability to find the soft spots and sit down in those zone voids.
One play down the sideline was so smooth.
This is tremendous connection between the quarterback and the receiver, but it was a team effort, and I really think they came into this with the exact correct game plan to attack this defense.
Okay, hit it again.
And we hear the next man up thing all the time. It's real there. You mentioned Rashad White having the wherewithal to not go out of bounds. Rashad White's in because Bucky Irving, who might be their best offensive player, is out. Mike Evans out. Who steps up? Ibuka and, of course, Sterling Shepard there. The offensive line has just been a carousel of names. Tristan Wirfsmith's game early, and now Cody Monk is out. And, of course, Luke Gadecki. Am I saying that right, Laura? Gadecki. He's been out as well. And Baker doesn't waver. They don't waver. It's 5 weeks in. We could do this week to week and change it. He's my MVP 5 weeks into the season. I think he's leading this team 4 comeback victories and their 1 loss. He almost got them that win against Philadelphia in Philly. So Tampa, so fun to watch. Those uniforms look great yesterday, and I believe they're a well-coached team.
Oh, it was an all-pro uniform.
How good did that look?
Yesterday.
Yeah,
Oh
with
my
the
gosh.
Seahawks, too.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
What they call that, creamsicle?
Yeah.
That's creamsicle.
That's tough. Give Josh Grizzard a lot
Talk
of
about
credit,
it.
man.
Talk about it.
He has been phenomenal. There was a sequence of plays, especially when they got into the red zone, where I think he's putting, like Baker on the move too. We got to start showing that. But here, you run the screen, right? You get Otten, you get him going, get the ball out of his hand, get blockers in front of him, mitigate that rush that Seattle has shown. Now you get Baker on the move, drop it off quick, let your playmakers make plays. Mina, that's why I love that you talked about space. Here, you see another screen behind the line of scrimmage. Get up into these guys, get them going north and south, and then you hit misdirection. I thought this was a phenomenal sequence of play calling to keep a defense off balance and move not only Baker off the spot, but have them thinking about where this football was going in order to make tackles. He was phenomenal.
The screen game is still so good.
It's
by the
so
way.
good.
And this guy left,
Yes.
Liam
Yeah.
Cohen. I was wondering if it would be as good. It was remarkable.
No doubt.
yesterday.
And if you're Brian Hartline, you don't recruit anymore.
Oh, my goodness.
All you do is say, hey, turn on that Tampa Bay Seattle tape, watch JSN and Emeka Ibuka, and you'll see what I do.
Yeah, those guys plus everybody else. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's been really phenomenal to see. All right, let's bring Adam Schefter back in here for some more top stories, what's going on around the NFL. And we begin with what's going on in Baltimore, Adam, after a tough loss to the Texans.
Laura, moments ago, John Harbaugh said he did expect to get some reinforcements back this week for the game against the Los Angeles Rams before the Ravens go on their bye. Of course, the big question will be whether they get Lamar back, but he's been dealing with that strained hamstring, didn't practice at all last week. Sounds like it might be ambitious for him to be back Sunday, but they will get some of their defensive reinforcements back, which they're hoping helps some. Not sure what will help the Jets right now. 0-5, the lonely winless team in the National Football League. They've set a record for the only NFL team to play 5 games and not get a single turnover. And now the Jets are headed to London to play the Denver Broncos on Sunday morning once again. Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Bengals have a quarterback decision to make. Zach Taylor said he's evaluating the options at the quarterback position. They have liked Jake Browning, but they have not won since he started this season. And essentially, they're trying to decide whether or not there's a better option out there. Sounds like something they are talking about right now. Meanwhile, the Detroit Lions lost another cornerback today. Terrion Arnold suffered a potential season-ending shoulder injury. Keep in mind, they're already missing their other starting cornerback, DJ Reed, who's out indefinitely due to a hamstring injury. So 2 of their top players on defense, their starting cornerbacks, now both out indefinitely. The Lions play the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football this upcoming week, and they're going to have to get used to not having their 2 cornerbacks here for a long period of time.
Not when you want that to happen, when you're going against a Chiefs team that's